What's good, Cowboy Nation? It's your boy Cole's Cowboys, stuck in Atlanta traffic as always in the morning. I wanted to go ahead and drop a little video for y'all, man. Let me get into this. So, all season still in full effect. Cowboys ain't did nothing, and it's the only thing that the Cowboys have done was throw a lot of rumors out there. You know, they got the smear campaign is alive and well with the big three: Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, and CeeDee Lamb. Now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just start off. Of course, you know, CeeDee Lamb. Earlier this week, they had the whole thing about him holding out, but hold up, he's holding out from voluntary OTAs. Voluntary. A lot of athletes do it, and you know he does. I'm all for him holding out. I'm all for him doing that because hey, it's time for you to get paid, and he views himself as an elite wide receiver in this league, which is he is. Do your thing, man. And you know, people tried to make the whole speculation that he gonna hold out, he not gonna play the season. He squashed that bug very, very quick. Shout out to TMZ Sports. They basically asked him, "Are you gonna be in Dallas?" He said, "Yeah, I'm gonna be in Dallas." What type of question is that? Basically, that's what he was saying. So, shout out to CD, man. He ain't about to, let this thing linger. Let's get to Micah. The Micah smear campaign is crazy. And this type of thing is coming directly from Jerry Jones, from the front office. The way how they negotiate contracts and how they try to, have their upper hand is they're basically throwing out stuff saying that people that's in the Cowboys, Cowboys building wouldn't mind if they probably have a sigh of relief if Micah wasn't even on the team anymore. Like, what are we doing, man? Who was mad? The janitor? Maybe Micah Parsons left some dirty towels around all the time, or forgot, always missed the linen basket or something. Like let's be real, man. It's ridiculous, man. And of course, the whole Adam Schefter thing. Adam Schefter does this shit all the time. Last night, he does it before every draft. He makes his opinions. He throws it out there, wanting to be the first to report something, so he'll throw out a hint on how he feel things go, and if it hits, then he could be like, "I'm the one that brought it. I told y'all." You know what I'm saying? So he basically out here saying that he can see the Cowboys as a sleeper of drafting the quarterback that can possibly replace Dak Prescott. I'm like, well, what the hell we traded for Trey Lance for? People out here, I mean, and hey, it's cool. You want to, it's a slow day in the office. You need shit to go, and the Cowboys is the low-hanging fruit. But at this point, it's just ridiculous, man. And it's sad for us fans to have to deal with the constant bullshit that goes from this damn media. And we really only got the owner to blame because he's the one that ignites this flame. Let me get into this, man. I was on, if you don't follow me on Twitter, man, Cole's Cowboys. But I be in the Twitter spaces, we have conversations. I have conversation with opposing fans, So, and a lot of people in the outside world of the Cowboys don't understand what really goes on, what we really go through as Cowboy fans. So, I broke it down. And I basically made a suggestion. I was like, the Cowboys are not a well-ran team. They're terrible when it comes to running a team. I had a few opposing fans disagree. And the reason why they disagreed was they was like, how are you badly ran when you draft very well, you have superstars on your team, and you've been going to the playoffs 3 years in a row, 12-5 seasons, like that's not hard to do. And I'm like, hey, I get that. And I can 100% agree. But I'm not talking about as far as wins and losses and making it to the playoffs. I'm talking about the way how this team is ran. And I was like, how many teams in the NFL owner is the GM? Of course, the Cowboys is the only one, right? We're a team, like, at the end of the day, we're not the type of team that we can be like, well, at least they made it to the playoffs, 3 years in a row. At least they had 12. That's not good enough for the Cowboys. And the owner, ignites that. We're a team that hasn't made it to the championship game in 29 years, and a lot of people love to remind us of that. So, which one is it? Are we a well-ran team because we go to the playoffs? So that means that's cool, right? You view us as other teams? Or are we a badly ran team that can't make the championship game in 29 years? We're a mediocre team, right? I need y'all to pick, so people still really didn't understand. I'm like, man, see, we can't change things. Like, if we was in a bad situation like we are now, we've been doing the same philosophy, draft. We only going to run things through the draft, and we're not going to be active in free agency. We're not going to switch things up. We're not going to, handle contracts right. The stuff that Jerry and Stephen Jones have been doing is fireable offenses. You know what I'm saying? A lot of GMs would have lost their jobs for the stuff that they've been doing. The way how they handled the Ezekiel Elliott contract, the way how they handling the Dak Prescott contract, they would have lost their jobs because of this. Because we're in a very, very bad situation, and they don't know how to get out of it. So GMs would have lost their jobs over this. They can't fire themselves, and they won't fire themselves. So we're stuck. Other teams have the luxury of knowing that their GM is on the hot seat. And if he don't do what he need to do to get his ass off the hot seat, he's out, He's out of there. And we're going to bring somebody else, and we have changed. The Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders had a horrible owner. And the team was ran horribly. They had to deal with that for so long. The dude finally sold the team and gave it to somebody that probably will end up lifting that team more, better. They have hope because they know that new things are coming in Washington. The Cowboys won't have that feeling because Jerry Jones is never going to sell the team. It's never going to happen. He's not going to lose the Cowboys. The Joneses will always be involved. So that's why I'm like, yeah, we're winning. We're a winning team. We make the playoffs. But that's all we're good for. We'll make the playoffs and then we'll come short. And then the crazy part about it is, look, I'm not giving Dak Prescott a pass. I blame some playoff games on Dak. But I also blame some playoff games on the way how the team is ran. How the defense was. That last playoff game, yeah, it was a bad game by Dak Prescott, but it was a bad game by the whole daggone team. The whole team was at fault. Offense, defense, special teams, the coaches, the scheme. Dan Quinn, I believe he threw the game. I really do. Every time I look at it, it made no sense. We going into the season. We knew that we needed a running game. We half-assed and tried to be cheap with running backs. We had an opportunity to try to make moves. If you want to get a running back, trade for one. Before the trade deadline, you didn't do nothing. We needed linebackers. You didn't get one. We could have got a Bobby Wagner. We've been trying to get Bobby Wagner on the team for the past 2 years, and we never got him. And now the Commanders, head coach by Dan Quinn, got Bobby Wagner all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the front office. And people want to blame Dak Prescott and solely only Dak Prescott and make him the fall guy, the scapegoat for the reason why we can't make it past the divisional round when we haven't made past the divisional round in 29 years, and the only two individuals that's been on this team since then is Jerry and Stephen Jones. We gotta open our eyes, man. We keep letting the Joneses off the hook, and it's ridiculous, man. Like, where it's like he has all control of some of these fans. All the control. And he pushes the narrative quietly. We are like some of the as a fan base, some people just are so blind not to see that Jerry Jones actually had Stephen A. Smith come to Dallas and they're friends. Now, I'm not saying they have to hate each other, but at the end of the day, this is an individual that is very popular by trolling the Cowboys and talking about your team not making the Super Bowl. Whenever you lose a playoff game, he flying around saying that you're never gonna win, you're not gonna win one, and you're friends with him. You're chucking it up with him, and that's like it's a slap in our face, man. It's a slap in our face. You rather carry on with the mediocrity than be focused on football. Be focused on being a real football team. We got people out here saying that the Texans are the best football team in Texas. The Houston Texans. And hey, I like what the Houston Texans are doing because they are doing the right things. They're doing the right things. So you're just gonna let a team like that, an expansion team that hasn't done nothing, get they act right together and outdo you? Because us as fans, we don't care about being the most valuable team. We don't care. We want to win. We want to be a football team. We don't want to be the fucking Kardashians. So that was my morning rant of the day. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.